Welcome back. 5:14 is your time on this Thursday morning. We are in storm alert weather mode as we're going to track the potential for severe storms between about 4 and 10 o'clock Eastern time or 3 and 9 Central, depending on where you live. Damaging wind to large hail going to be our primary threat, which could lead to some damage and, of course, power outages here locally. So we'll have to keep a close eye on the weather. Now, temperatures are in the 60s this morning. Later today, we're going to be in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Sunshine's going to peek through this afternoon, and that gives us extra instability or storm fuel to work with a little bit later today. But fortunately for our morning commute, we're not really looking at any issues. We have this front that's going to lift to the north. That's going to allow that warm, moist air from the Gulf to surge north. And with this front getting a little bit closer to our west, again, those two things plus the extra instability going to provide a pretty nice environment for severe storms to develop again a little bit later this afternoon and evening. So we do have a level 2 out of 5 risk. This covers our entire coverage area. So again, this has increased from yesterday. So as we track it all out today, again, the first part of your day is going to be nice and quiet. We're really not looking at too much in the way of issues. Could have a couple of showers and storms developing through the morning into the early afternoon, but anything that develops before about 4 o'clock should stay below severe limits. Really, as we get going a little bit later today, notice these breaks in the clouds. That's going to allow for those temperatures to warm into the 80s. And then after about 4 o'clock, some of these individual cells could become strong or severe, and likely some of them will. So we're going to have to pay close attention to the radar. That'll continue through much of the evening. Again, notice your timestamp just before 7 o'clock. So this is likely to impact that evening commute. That'll continue through about 8, 9. And then I would say after about 10 o'clock, it's just going to be some rain. Most of this isn't going to be severe. We lose the daytime heating, and all of this just turns into plain old rain. After midnight, the rain should taper off through Friday morning. And actually, Friday's trending a lot drier as that front drops to our south. So the main concerns today are going to be the potential for large hail, high winds. Can't completely rule out a spin-up tornado. It's not likely, but it's still something we need to be aware of. Flooding threat not very high, but again, we could have some of that heavy rain re-aggravate some of those flooding concerns that we had last Friday. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that as well, but that's not one of the top concerns. Now, the environment today is going to be very favorable for some of these storms to produce large hail. In fact, significant hail can't be ruled out across parts of the Tennessee Valley, North Georgia, western North Carolina with these storms, which means some of the hail could have a diameter of 2 inches or greater. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that, especially as these storms get going. And again, the tornado risk not high, but there is a 2% threat, which includes our entire area, and that's within a 25-mile radius. So again, low end tornado threat, but not zero. Of course, we would prefer that to be closer to zero. So just be very weather aware as we continue through the day. Rainfall amounts generally going to be up to an inch. Some areas may pick up a little bit more, some a little bit less. So you're going to want to have the Local 3 weather app downloaded. Going to be your best friend today, especially later on. It's got a great radar feature. Plus, it'll let you know if there are any watches or warnings issued for your community. Again, you can just put in your zip code and it'll give you all the weather alerts you need. So again, weather awareness is going to be key today, but before all the storms move through, it's going to be pretty quiet. And then this weekend, actually trending a little bit drier. Still going to have the chance for a few spotty showers here and there. Mother's Day, about a 30% chance of some storms, mainly late in the evening. But our better chance of rain now is being pushed back to about Monday and Tuesday. So this is good news for those weekend plans, but before we get to all that, just need to be weather aware on this Thursday.
Okay, so weekend looking a little better now.
Yeah, and with it being Mother's Day weekend, again, that's a good trend because last week the trend was reverse.
Yeah.
We had higher chances for storms as we got closer to the weekend.
All right, let's go. Keep it trending. Thank you, Clay.